Good morning, good afternoon, fabulites. This is Angela with another edition of Notes on the News, where I read to you headlines from my news feed so we can try to keep up with what's going on in our community and the world, because our world is our community, right? Bless America and everyone else, or just your neighborhood. I don't know. Okay, I'm Angela. The channel is Be Fabulous You. And while I'm reading those headlines, I might share with you my thoughts about the headlines, about the article, about the subject matter at large, or just some random bull. Y'all know from the title that it's not news. It's just my notes on the news. I'm Angela. Did I tell you the channel is Be Fabulous You? If you are not already a subscriber, consider subscribing. If you are a subscriber, if you are someone who has been here before, welcome back. I love you. Let us proceed. Quebec remembers mosque shooting 1 year on. So a year ago, some people were in a mosque in Quebec, and somebody came in and shot during prayers, and 4 people were killed. Rest in peace for the souls that made their transition then, and for their families and friends. Because to us, a year seems like a long time. But you know, when someone in your life has died, like let's say it was your father or your mother or your child, a year is probably, for most people, not hardly any time. Like they're probably still like in the throes of just like, how am I going to go? How they going to go to the mosque to pray and be killed, like gunned down? How that happened? Trump team considers a government-run 5G network. India mob attacks late rescuers as bus falls into the river. I think 4 people made their transition when the bus fell in the river. And the people are like mad when the people came to rescue because they like, why it take you so long? It's an emergency. Why is it taking so long? Ooh, I turned this heat off and it's like immediately the temperature just dropped. So I didn't particularly care for the headline, but anyway. Martha Euphemia Hayes, first Black American woman to earn a PhD in mathematics. French floods, Seine River, the Seine, is it the Seine? I used to know what it was for a second. River reaches peak in flood hit Paris. So, you know, there's flooding in Paris, but it's not as much as it was last year. I didn't even know it flooded in Paris last year. And it's not as much as it was in 1901. Is that the last time they had a big flood? Iran frees woman who took off her headscarf, lawyer says. So, first of all, they were calling her a girl, but she's a 31-year-old. I believe she's a mother, so I don't know why they're calling her a girl. But I guess that there are rules where women have to wear headscarves, and she took off her headscarf, so it's like a big deal. I really don't understand all of these rules and laws around what women wear. Like, damn, I mean, just get up off me, back up off me, back up off me. Dang, give us free. Shit. 2% of U.S. adults report getting a bonus or raise after the Republican tax law passed. So it's supposed to be all this great and wonderful thing, and all of these people are getting benefits. To me, 2% don't sound like a lot. I mean, I don't know. That means out of 100 people, 2 of them got a raise or a bonus. And, you know, how many people got fired? How, you know, whatever. How many people have been systemically underpaid? I am so not impressed with some people. Syria war. Turkish airstrikes damage ancient Afrin temple. I don't even know where Afrin was, and I was like looking at the imagery of the temple. I'm like, where is this? It's like it's a whole world out there. I want to go to St. Croix. I know somebody in St. Croix. I think I want to organize a trip to St. Croix because with the hurricanes, you know, I'm just curious to see. And I think, is St. Croix part of the U.S. Virgin Islands? Because I think he lives as part of the U.S. But anyway, I got to do some research. I just saw his message on this tablet, which is not my tablet. And I'm like, oh, that's where I want to go. That's what I want to do. Because I really want to go to Haiti, too. I've been thinking about, you know, but I don't seem to have you know, I'm like, who do I know? What's my connection to Haiti? Like, personal, you know? I mean, so that I can like navigate, because it's like navigating a foreign country just by yourself You know, you need, I feel like I need to have, you know, a connection. Panera wants to help other brands clean up their menus. And it shows how the sandwich chain is doubling down on a key strategy in a new era. And they ain't say it in the headline, but they like, y'all need to define what an egg is, because apparently a lot of these egg sandwiches is eggs mixed with other stuff. So you think, oh, it's just egg and a muffin and blah, 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 blah. But that egg is like a chemical concoction. I've been really processing. It's like I can get, if I get the fancy eggs, I could pay, you know, even if I pay $6 a dozen, but if I pay $3, $4 a dozen, if I get regular eggs, they $1, $2 a dozen, and an egg sandwich is $1. It's just, it's just like, and I know it's like, it's so much, it's not cost effective to be buying these egg sandwiches out here on the street. And an egg is something quick and easy to cook. I got my cast iron, you know, and I don't, you know, it's like, it's a mystery too what they put in these products. So if I buy my whole grain sprouted bread and make me an egg sandwich, it's like, it's way less than $1, even if you get it off the dollar menu. Then it's like less BS too. So Panera, I started going to Panera this summer when I was doing tours downtown. I went there a couple of times and I was like shocked. I'm like looking at their menu. I'm like, oh, this is like, I can actually decipher what's here. They have list of ingredients. Like, it seemed wholesome and fresh and pure to me. Now, I mentioned that to somebody else and they were like, ugh. But I think it was Panera. It was some chain I had never been to, but I was quite impressed. And I think it was Panera. At least by what they said. Now, maybe they were lying, but I was impressed. Like, I got some, yeah, I don't remember, but I got, like, I could customize the salad, and yes, it seemed, I liked it. Indonesia, transgender women in Aceh detained by police. So not only did they detain these people, but they cut their hair, they put them in men's clothing, and the police say they're going to teach them and train them to be men. I mean, some of us have more concern about, like, let people be who they are. You be fabulous you. Be concerned with being fabulous you. Don't worry about what I'm doing over here. I don't understand. It's like it's an obsession with other people. Like, don't we have enough work to do working on ourselves and focusing on our own? I don't understand. Laying out of fire, not enough water to tackle Kenya blaze. So there's a fire in Kenya. I don't know what Laying Ata is. Maybe that's a place in Kenya. And I think that I heard that 4 people had made their transition. So peace to these 4 people who made their transition in Kenya, plus the people who made their transition during the bus crash in India, to their families and friends and communities, and peace to all of us in the world. May we be increasingly aware of the love, peace, and happiness that fills and surrounds us. And may we share our love, peace, and happiness with all beings, human and non-human, near and far, 2-legged, no-legged, 6-legged, crawling, flying. May all beings be happy. Storm-tossed LA Times names 3rd editor-in-chief in 6 months. So that's like you get a new boss every 2 months. That's a lot of turnover. That's a lot. There's a lot of mess going on at the LA Times. And they just unionized over there. China dismisses absurd African Union headquarters spying claim. China built the African Union headquarters. Is it in South Africa? I didn't even know that there was an African Union headquarters. I just read this article today. But they built it. And so somebody else, another country, is like, there's a lot of activity, like digital activity, coming from the African Union headquarters at 2 a.m. every night, but nobody's in there working. So what a guan. And then I think it was found that the desks were bugged. But I think that I read an article probably about a month ago of, was it Russia or some other country was building headquarters or something for some other country, and they had all kinds of systems in place, built into the walls, built into the floors, built into the beams, so you shut off the mics in the desk. They probably got other mics, I don't know, but I'm just saying. So Panera voluntarily recalls some cream cheese products over possible listeria contamination. It's a lot of food contaminations out there. I think it's because all of this mass-produced food, and all this mass-produced food is supposed to be so much more regulated and so much better for you. But that is I think that's some BS, personally. China's military is turning its aggressive South China Sea tactics on Japan. French flood, Seine River reaches peak and flood hit Paris. San Francisco wants to build 1,200 new homes on a former nuclear test site. But the project is in turmoil after the Navy found evidence of a botched cleanup. So somebody done paid people to clean it up. Oh, we cleaned up all of the nuclear waste and the nuclear vibration, and then they got paid, but now the Navy has found that they ain't really do a good job with it. Now, I think what's interesting is that this particular development was supposed to be a middle class or upper middle class development. I don't know, but that's the impression that I got from skimming the article. If it was supposed to be something for poor people, they'd be like, oh, that's good for them. Nuclear contamination, yeah, that's perfect for poor people. That's what they deserve. Maryland, you see how cynical I feel sometimes inside? Help me, Lord. Help me, God. Pray for me, y'all. Pray for me. Maryland teen miraculously survives 6-inch nail piercing his brain. Oh my gosh. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Most sororities have to follow a sexist and potentially dangerous rule that gives men on college campuses power. The Pan-Hellenic Association says that the women cannot have alcohol in their houses, but the men can. Is that what I read? I don't understand. Don't none of y'all need to be having alcohol. Y'all know I'm dry. I don't drink, so I don't understand the glory, and it just looked like mess and confusion to me, the glories and wonders of getting drunk and effed up and all of that. 2 former lawyers of rap mogul Suge Knight. Dang, I went through this last night. Arrested. Suge Knight. Suge Knight. My mother had to correct me. I'm like, I don't know how to pronounce the man's name. She's like, it's Suge. I'm like, why is it spelled S-U-G-E? That looks like Suge. Suge Knight. I have heard of Suge Knight, but his lawyers were arrested for, they say that they were bribing witnesses, and they got him on tape plotting and planning and carrying on. Now, isn't he the one, is he the one that ran over the person and backed up and ran over him again? Suge Knight? I mean, I'm just wondering. I'm trying to see if I can get it, if I got it straight in my head. Mona Scott Young defends Amara La Negra colorism storyline on Love and Hip Hop. People have been saying, oh my gosh, they still talking about colorism. It's just going on and on. I mean, it was really important to talk about, but it's just going on and on and on. And I'm like, now we might be on episode 2 or 3. And really the storyline is not exactly colorism anymore. It's the fallout from the colorist statements that Young Hollywood made, and then how janky her so-called friends and support system were in response to that. But I don't feel like she's like every episode like, oh, it's so hard being dark. It's so hard being dark. Oh, woe is me because I'm dark. Oh, my hair is snappy and it's so hard. That's just how, to me, I don't feel that. I know other people feel that. But I'm going to tell you one storyline on Love and Hip Hop, and that's probably the one where it was like I was barely hanging on by a thread, but I was like, I can't watch this anymore. It's when the man, he married to Rashida. The man who married to Rashida supposedly have a child outside of the bonds of the marriage, and he wouldn't take a paternity test. And I'm like, I don't understand why it's dragging on so long. I don't understand why it's so complicated. I couldn't figure out what the issue was. And then I was watching The Chi. I watched the first episode of The Chi, and within the first episode, this man done had this young man done got a paternity test, and the woman done left the child for him to take care of. This is all on just one episode. And on Love and Hip Hop, I don't even think they revealed at the reunion whether the paternity test. So that, if we want to talk about storylines that we want to get on Mona Scott Young for dragging out, I vote that that's the storyline that we get on her for. And I'm sure if I thought about it and did some analysis, that there are other storylines that we could get on Mona Scott Young for dragging out. And this colorism one is not one of them. Okay. Congo's president holds rare press conference after outcry. ATM jackpotting hacks reach the U.S. Now, I think jackpotting is when you just shake, like it's. I don't know if you just shake the machine, but you know how people used to are there still vending machines? When I don't eat so much out of vending machines, I guess, unless I'm desperate, and I don't know when the last time I was desperate enough to eat out of a vending machine was. But you know, you can shake a vending machine and something might fall out, and then you like, hey, I got a free Snickers. I've never done that before, but I've seen people do it, and not a million times, maybe once, maybe twice. But that's what I think jackpotting is the equivalent of. They do something to try to make the machine give them money, like put in a bunch of numbers or whatever. I don't think that it's, instead of waiting to get your card number and all of this other stuff, that's what I think, but I didn't read the article. Foiled again. A 66-year-old woman who sneaks through security and onto planes without tickets, arrested again days after getting caught in London. She was arrested in Chicago. I think she's from Chicago. Now, again, this is an older white woman. If this was a black person, they'd have probably killed that woman talking about national security or whatever. I don't want nobody to be killed, but I'm just saying she's steadily sneaking on planes. Cambodia charges foreigners with making pornographic images. Eva Marcel, Real Housewives of Atlanta, is an organic fit. Ohio teacher tells students to go back to your country after mispronouncing her name. So he said her name wrong. She corrected him, and he told her to go back to his country. Now, I think this is the article I skimmed, where the man has been teaching for 25 years. And so they're going to put him in sensitivity and how to talk to students classes. I'm like, if you hadn't figured that stuff out in this is not like a new teacher. This is somebody who's been in the system for 25 years. And there were like other examples of crazy stuff he's told students, like joking with them. Yeah. The Air Force has appointed a general to investigate why pilots keep having trouble breathing in the cockpit. Like, I think I'm getting real conspiratorial, because I'm like, it's espionage, it's a plot. It's probably Russia. Is that weird? I was watching a news show the other day, and they're trying to present the FBI as if it's some leftist organization. The FBI has always been like a Republican conservative but organization. And I'm like, I know, it's like really crazy as a black relatively conscious person, about COINTELPRO and every city. I mean, the police and the government have not been on the side of progressiveness since when? Ever. No. But now I'm like, where's the FBI to fight this espionage? Just like it's crazy times. Meet South Africa's king of tombstone bling. So he decorates tombstones for, wealthy and well-known people. Why Ghana's natural hair fashion is bad for business. It's bad for the perming business, and I say good. That's excellent. They have a shot of somebody with the chemicals all on their head. I'm like, let them chemicals off your head, be free. They talking about how they used to have 12 clients a day to get perms and jerry curls, and now they might have 2 or 3 clients a day. Woo! I'm so excited. I was so excited to read that article. Now, some people have changed over to doing natural hair. As well you should. Outcry in Mexico over missing student. Cubans have an ingenious system of dealing with Cuba's excruciatingly long lines and mind-numbing bureaucracy. When you get in line, you know who's in front of you, and unless you're the last person in line, you can just move around and do your thing, and then everybody knows who's in what place in line. That's the system. Yemen crisis. Separatists seize government buildings in Aden. Companies like Amazon and Starbucks want to kill cash, and it could be a huge blow to the most vulnerable Americans. Why do dog breeds look so different, but cat breeds don't? Colin Kaepernick gave away $1 million in a year, and it's kind of a big deal. Yay, Colin Kaepernick, Mr. Kaepernick, go! Some people will earn your respect, won't they? Some people just, that's cool beans. Viola Davis glad her daughter is in karate. I want her to kick somebody's behind. She training her to be like, I wish a Negro would type woman. You know how some women, like, I'm like more of a, I don't want to fight with people, but it's some people who are like, I wish a Negro would grab my butt, because then I could kick they behind. Now, after that person attacked me, I think I became more of, I wish a nigga would, I wish a person would grab me and try to rape me in the laundromat at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That just pissed me off. I was just like, after when I thought about it, I'm like, the nerve. Black abolitionist Richard Allen from the Free African Society. I love something called Free African Society. New York Attorney General will investigate firm selling fake followers to stars, fake Twitter followers. Kabul mourns 100 dead after ambulance bomb. I think the last that I saw, it was 95, and now it's up to 100. What Dr. Love says about DR Congo. Communal land ownership at risk on Caribbean island. Dang, I can't remember what island it is, but it's a really small island, and Barbuda, I think it's Barbuda, and I think it was hit by 2 hurricanes, like Harvey and the one before after it. And they own the land communally, and now the government is like, oh, we'll just sell some of it, and the people are like, this is some bull. This is some bull. President of Senegal urges push in sci-tech field to bolster Africa's development. Elite climbing team save French woman from Pakistan's killer mountain. Rescuers find 7 survivors of missing Kiribati ferry. Remember, there were 50 people. They found 7. Woman sincerely apologizes for ignorance after calling young Ghanaian girl her cutest little monkey. I'm so sorry. Was that I just thought she was cute. Georgia woman says AutoZone fired her after encounter with racist shopper. Here's the salary of every governor in the United States. Brazil, gunmen storm Fortaleza nightclub, killing 14. Rest in peace for the people who made their transition at the Fortaleza nightclub, their families and friends and communities, and the people who were in there who were not directly connected with them, but are connected for life by being in that place at that time. And for all of us, peace for all of us. The Red Cross forced out an executive over sexual harassment, and then helped him get a job at Save the Children. Didn't say why they fired him, and then gave him a glowing recommendation. That's how the rich white men with property and power, they help each other. They support each other. They ain't trying to hurt each other. They trying to help each other. Keep doing what you're doing, bruh. I got your back. Big investors are valuing homes with a method outlawed for everyone else after the housing crash. And the SEC is asking questions. I don't know what regulatory commission has any power these days. I feel like they can ask questions. Do they have any teeth? They have any power? Can they bite somebody in their ass for doing some bull? Journalists ask Chimamanda Adichie. She wrote Americana. I know the name of her book. I'm sorry I can't pronounce her name, or I don't, Chimamanda Adichie. Are there bookshops in Nigeria? A journalist. Do some damn research. Los Angeles Times Guild demands management answers on shadow newsroom operations. So I think we were just talking about the Los Angeles Times earlier. Were we talking about them earlier? Who's had 3 leaders in the last 6 months? That's 2 every 2 months they turn it over. So they have they've unionized, these people have, but they're noticing that there's another newsroom going on. So it's like they have the union people and then they have the other people. They're trying to run a secret newsroom where they don't have to deal with union rules. They're like scabs. Rosario Dawson, I was raped and molested as a child. I'm so sorry to hear that, mama. A new mom asked to be treated for postpartum depression. Then the nurse called the cops. You know, postpartum depression, I feel bad. Sometimes I think of killing my child, whatever women feel or say when they have postpartum depression. And this professional called the cops on this woman. That's supposed to be a safe place for her to get help. Exclusive, Bricks and Diamond on how the Black House Foundation brings black folks and black films to Sundance. Have you heard of the Black House Foundation? I haven't. So we've looped back around. It was 26 minutes, but I don't think I did it yesterday. So that's what I got. Notes on the news feed. Thank you for tuning in. If you are one of the 1,000 subscribers, I love you, love you, love you, love you, love you dearly. If you're not, consider subscribing. Like, comment, share, and all of that other good stuff. And be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. Peace.